2018 is a very specific year for International House, and I'm as a director of International House Kyiv. For those who don't remember my name, I'm Tanya Ratovska. We celebrate our existence in Ukraine. It's an anniversary, 25th anniversary, and Global International House celebrates in 2018 its 65th anniversary. So we have conferences for teachers of different languages, not only English, happening at different schools all over the world. So we say thank you. I'm saying thank you on behalf of International House Kyiv team. Thank you all our dear guests who came here today from different places, not only Ukraine, but different International House schools. We have guests from International House Dublin, we have guests from International House Minsk, we have guests from Poland International House Torun, we have guests from our lovely partners from International House Kyiv, from International House Lviv, from International House Kharkiv, and of course Dnipropetrovsk, Dnipro now. We have our partners from Chisinau and Moldova, so it's a nice environment, international environment, English-speaking environment today, and we are honored having you here today as our guests and partners. We've prepared a nice program for you, and we thank you, appreciate all our speakers who worked hard to prepare their workshops. They're our partners, and just out of curiosity, I would like to find out, just raise your hand, those of you who have been with us at least once, participating at teacher training seminar, modular course, IHC, any kind of courses. Thank you. That's, you are our guests, it's our community, and we appreciate you coming here today. We have a long day, and the program is tight, so I'm giving just you several stages you need to keep in mind, because you'll be shifting between workshops in the afternoon. We start now, then we'll have a coffee break according to the program you all have. Also, there is a feedback questionnaire which you need to keep with you till we have a lottery session. When we have a lottery session, finishing the program here in this hall, after all the workshops, you'll be filling that in and leaving in the reception area. Also, there will be very tight break, just 1 hour for you. There are lots of places to eat around, but we would like you to be really careful with the time, because we want all workshops going smoothly. I would like to represent, we have partners who are our publishers, and we appreciate their coming, joining us today, and you'll see their stands, and you'll see lots of useful stuff they prepared for us. Also, I would like to introduce our executive partner, Euroexams International. We have Tim, we have Zoltan, we have Rachel, who are here today to give you a little bit more information about examinations. We used to have here in Ukraine just well-known exams, language exams like IELTS, TOEFL, Cambridge exams, Pearson tests, but there are lots of them, and Euro exams is something what you would probably interested to find out more, because they are good, they are solid, and they are well-known in the world. So I would like to give 5 minutes of introduction of a Euro exam, and I will give the floor now to Tim Bender.
Thank you very much. So my name is Tim Bender. I'm the Business Development Director for Euroexams International, so I'm responsible for network development. I'd like to say congratulations to Tanya for 25 years of IH in Kyiv. Well done to her team, and we're delighted to be here as a partner for this event. Actually, Euro Exams 18 years ago started as a project within the IH organisation to provide placement and progress tests for the whole network. So Euro Exam International grew out of that initiative. The Euro Exams were written initially by teachers, and in order to provide enjoyable and effective teaching. The Euro Exams is not just about assessment, it's about effective and enjoyable learning, teaching experience. And so we believe certainly that the communicative exams written by teachers for the teaching community is the answer. And this as a message has certainly resonated in our international expansion over the last 10 years or so, where we are now available in 95 cities across the world, from Shanghai to most cities in Western Europe. And this year we've just managed to open we have a partner now in South America, in Brazil. So we'd very much like to see have an opportunity to see that expansion continue in Ukraine. So please, we'd like to meet you. We'd like to learn about your experience. So maybe you've seen where we are. We also have a prize draw. So every hour we'll be drawing a prize, and you can win a T-shirt or you can win one of our books. So please do come and see us. We'll be here all day. Very happy to hear from you. So thank you very much for your time. Have a great conference. And
we'll start from the short video, and then our director of studies, or vice versa, Lena has prepared some activities. Our lovely director of studies, Olena Lisitsa, has some activities for you, and then we'll move on with the presentations and small video which we have for you, especially for this day.
Okay, hello, my name's Lena. Some people know me, some people don't. If you came here to have fun, you're in the correct place. If you came to this place to spend your weekend and relax, we can't promise you that, okay? It's going to be a very hard working day, and of course there will be lots of physical exercises, there will be some fun. I don't think we need the light now. We need the light now, a bit later. So there will be, we will do some physical exercises. There are a lot of different sessions. I hope you've made your choice already. A very important thing, in your bag, all of you have got these bracelets. It's important you wear them, because there is another conference happening here. Yes, we want, not in this place, but in another, but in a hotel. So please, we want you to be identified. So please put your bracelet on. Okay, so of course there are lots of people. Some of you know each other, some of you don't know each other, and that's the time to say hello. And we're not going to say hello to the person sitting next to you, because we'll be saying hello to the person sitting next to you during the next time, during the next 5 minutes. So here you go. What you'll have to do, you'll have to stand up and move. Don't tell me there is not enough space. There is enough space to move. And the bags should be left on your chairs. Yes. Here you go. So you'll be walking around the room following my instructions. Whenever you hear, please, okay, you have to stay next to the person and ask the following questions. It's okay. Is it important to ask the person's name? Yes. Of course. So it's not important to talk to the person you don't know. It is important to know where you're from. Yes, because a lot of you are not from Kyiv, and a lot of us are not from Ukraine. Is it important to know why did you come here? Yes, because maybe there are people from a different conference. So understand. Is it important what's the most memorable lesson you've ever had? Yes, because we are all who? Teachers. is it important to know what your favorite activity is? Yes, because teachers come for the conferences to share ideas. Is it important to know how you would describe your students? Absolutely, because we all have similar ones. And of course, is it important to know how you feel when you leave your class? To feel a bit more inspiration. Okay, Halloween is coming very, very soon. So now you have about 2 minutes to walk as if you are who? Hey, mommy! Starting now. Walking as if you're a mommy. Sit down, please. Thank you very much. You had the whole day to ask all the questions that were not actually asked. The title of the conference is, what's the name of the conference? Changing Minds, yes, and this is the aim of the conference. We really want a lot of you to change your minds about teaching and what you do in the class. And a lot of sessions will be about teacher of the 21st century, about the skills that we actually need to develop in the lessons. And some of the questions that you were just asked by your partner were asked, and the students and the teachers from our school, they answered the same questions. Do you want to hear what they answered? Here you go.
Well, for me, I love using media in the classroom. So it can be anything which involves film, which involves song, which involves looking at the news and everything happening in the world. I love showing this to the students, trying to extract the language, and hoping they learn something new.
Well, my favorite activities to do in English lessons are, first of all, speaking and maybe discussions of some books, films, etc. Also, I'm really fond of watching some videos, some maybe parts of famous films, and also discussing them, listening to the speech of many heroes and discussing what's happening actually on the screen. So,
okay, so my favorite activities to do on the English lessons are speaking practice, because I think that speaking is the most useful part, and we all need speaking in our lives. Like, we all want to travel, to communicate with different people, so that's the reason why we need speaking, and I really enjoy asking different questions.
My favorite classroom activities are the competitions. We usually have some competitions at the start of the lesson, like who learns the words better. You need to explain to another person the word on your card. If she or he doesn't understand it, or you can't explain it, you don't get the card, and so you don't get a point.
My favorite activities are tests.
All competition in players.
So I like to do a lot of activities in my classroom during my lesson. First of all, I like to play bingo with my pupils because they are so young and they are so interested in learning words. That's why it's really amazing when they write these words and they listen to me. They try to guess which word I'm really telling the next one, and they really wait for this. And it's really good to see the winners of this game because they're so bright, they're so really happy.
One teacher of English means to me that he must to pay every student more attention and make technologies questions or exercises to class.
It's a friend who will help you, who will answer your questions. If you have questions, you ask him questions and he answers you.
a modern English teacher is a really good friend. It's a person who I can actually talk to. I can ask something which isn't even about the lesson, but mostly about the life, about what's happening just around me, around us actually.
The modern teacher of English means to me, it's an interesting question. I think the teacher should be interesting, first of all. It should be an interesting character that I'm really interested to too. Like, if this person is interesting, then I am going to have a wish to learn English.
I like children, I like sometimes being childish with them, and as my favorite author Exupery said, all adults once were children, but they don't remember it. And I agree with this quotation. We should show children, and I'm inspired by that because I want to be like them.
We would like to, for you, our staff, you will find them wearing white t-shirts. We are always here for you. During the lunch break, you can meet our staff next to our stands. International examination services, teacher training services, general English. We are here for you to consult you on any questions you might have. Also, during the coffee breaks, you can mingle between yourselves, share ideas, etc. So at the moment, I will give the floor to my best friend and partner, Tanya Tereshchenko, who is the one who has made English language teaching market probably workable in Ukraine, because she was the one who has started running teacher training courses together with our international house partners from different age schools. And we have, it just happened that International House became the first international language school in the country. It happened in 1992 as a Soros Foundation project, and then in the 1993 most of the current IH International House schools actually entered this market in our country and brought completely different approach to language teaching. And Tanya, our head of teacher training, Delta Delta trainer, and my partner and co-owner of International House Kyiv, is preparing you now for with her presentation for the skills all we need to become a good teacher for the 21st century. Tanya will be sharing her presentation with an excellent International House teacher trainer, and we are very pleased to have him with us this year. Faik Shubash has been with International House, Global International House, for more than 4 years, and he has joined our team this year. So Tanya and Faik are with you for the next 1 hour.
So thank you. I've been working for IHK for 23 years. So in 2 years, you all have a chance to come here to celebrate my 25th anniversary with IH. So the topic of our talk today, Faik's and mine, is the teacher of the 21st century, the 21st century teacher. So new technological advances have affected the way we live. So our communication, the way we collaborate, the way we teach, and of course the way we learn. So they have also necessitated the appearance of new vocabulary. They've expanded our vocabulary. And such terms as Google generation, digital natives, those born in the 1980s and later on, digital immigrants, someone like me, and the topic of our talk today, the 21st century teacher. Actually, I'm trying to recall whether I have ever heard the term the 19th century teacher or the 20th century teacher. Quick Google search reassures me that there's nothing of the kind. Nothing for the 19th or the 20th century, but lots for the 21st. So this is, not yet. Next. the alphabet taught to kids nowadays. You see, Bluetooth for B, chat for C, download for D, and so on. A bit of exaggeration at the moment, I think, but I'm sure that in a couple of years this will be the case. So now that we know that we are all teachers of the 21st century, what does it mean? Have we changed? Have we moved ahead of the curve and to embrace actually what we call the 21st century skills? So actually the term itself, 21st century skills, is a bit of misnomer because the prized skills of the 21st century have always existed as long as we've been teaching and learning. And Socrates and Aristotle would feel quite at home in the 21st century class. The class itself is meant to embrace the upcoming needs of the STEM needs employment. And the STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and maths. Although the 21st century classroom does not necessarily have to be technologically advanced. It can be a surprisingly low-budget place. So, teaching English in the 21st century means building skills for communication, collaboration, and helping our students gain a global perspective on the world. The global perspective implies teaching them different cultures. So in the past, an English teacher used to present, actually, to introduce mainly two English-speaking cultures, the US and the UK. Nowadays, our students are prepared to collaborate, to communicate with people all over the world, and not necessarily native speakers. And did you know that today there are only, can't see it, 375 million native speakers, 375, and 1.4 billion non-native speakers. So that's why English is not associated only with British and American culture anymore. So the 21st century skills can be summarized by the 4 C's: collaboration, communication, creativity, and critical thinking. And all of them are needed for college and career readiness of our students. We can also categorize these 21st century skills in 3 ways. The ways of thinking, critical thinking, and problem solving. If we speak about critical thinking, we basically mean analyze, evaluate, and create. A simple example of the first one, like analyze, could be a question: please compare 2 pictures and speak about similarities and differences between them. And a simple example of evaluation task could be: think about the effectiveness of advertising on the internet. And to create something, you can ask your students, for example, discuss the traffic problems in your city and work out one solution to it, where students need to communicate and collaborate to reach the agreement. The second way of teaching skills is, I didn't mention the problem solving, but that's obvious, like task-based learning activities, jigsaw texts, info gap. For example, draw my picture. We draw our living room together. Then I'm describing it to my partner, and my partner draws the same, and then we compare and discuss how similar or different they are. ways of working include cooperation and collaboration. On the first side, they can overlap. On the second one, on the other side, if we cooperate, we do the same task and move to the same end. If we collaborate, we do different personalized tasks to achieve the main aim, and our contributions made are different. So with different personal contributions. An example of the good collaboration lesson could be a lesson on food, where one group of students prepares, for example, all the groups, for example, 3 of them, discuss the menu. Then the first group buys the ingredients and prepares food. The second one possibly works out how to cook it, the process of cooking. The third one cooks, for example, and lays the table and serves the food. So all of them move to the same end, but with different contributions. Different groups do different things. And the third way of categorizing the skills is teaching tools, tools for working. So this is information literacy, knowing when and why you need this information and where you can get it. And ICT literacy, which is information communication technology. It's not only enough to know where to get the information you want, but it's also important to know how you can contribute to social networks. So, an example of the lesson which combines all the 4 skills, all the 4 C's, cooperation, critical thinking, collaboration, and creativity, could be a simple lesson on grammar, prepositions to give directions. For example, in the first part, collaboration and communication, you are handing out the pictures or the slides, or can be flashcards or whatever, of the city places or city sites. And all the students choose one place that they like most, for example. In the second part, to communicate critical thinking and creativity, you give them the task to create 2 sets of tasks. One set for a blind guest of the city, and the second one, for example, for the deaf one. And you encourage your students to use digital resources. They can use television, they can use YouTube videos, they can use their smartphones. And of course you can prepare this lesson within 2 or 3 weeks, 2 or 3 lessons. It depends, not necessarily in one. So students will be motivated to create something, and they will be happy to share it with other groups or maybe with other classes as well. Another example of the combination of the 4 C's can be a lesson on food. And for example, what's your most least favorite food? We've all had this lesson or something similar to it in our classes. So collaborate, for example, in groups. Students create a survey to research in the class about their classmates' preferences, which is their favorite food, which is least favorite food. After that, they draw a pie chart or a bar graph to compare actually and to present these preferences to the class. They can compare them in groups, they can work in groups actually and compare them together. After that, ask your students to prepare an advertising campaign to be more creative. Advertising campaign on, for example, their least favorite food that is in the class actually. To advertise it in such a way that it becomes possible, or it might become their favorite one. Okay? So, in the end, the 21st century teaching is not actually about teaching itself. It is just to make our students, to have them prepared for the upcoming life, for the upcoming studies and work. So, what is it like to be a 21st century teacher? So, the students, the technology definitely affects their learning. They have become more independent, more autonomous, and they can survive without course books and they can survive without us. But does it mean that teachers are not needed anymore? Any answer from you? I don't think so. So, firstly, because we can actually change the course books. I can't say that we can't refuse from the course books and we can't refuse from the syllabus. We can change them to a certain extent. We can use more websites, we can use more authentic materials for students. But still, the teacher is needed in class actually to give instructions, to set the tasks, to control what's going on, but basically to be not the monitor and the controller, but basically be a facilitator in class. So these are the 10 characteristics of the 21st century teacher. The first one is learner-centered classroom and personalized instructions. All our students are different. They have different needs, they have different motivation, and of course they will study more eagerly if we give them personalized tasks. So personalized instructions are not only necessary, but they are not only necessary but advisable as well. They will work better and the outcomes will be better. Students as producers, use students as producers to create blogs, movies, digital stories, for example. Encourage them to use technology in class and at home. Learn new technologies. I've got good news, and this is that new technologies are new to the novice teachers and to the experienced teachers alike. And it is never too late to jump in. So the short-term subscription to www.linda.com can help you with many resources and technological things, new technologies for using them in class. Go global. So do not focus only on your own country or the US and the Great Britain. Just ask them to visit, in inverted commas, to visit all the countries around the world. Hopefully, it will make them more knowledgeable and it will make them more sympathetic. So be smart and use smartphones in class. You use them and your students should. Blog. To blog or not to blog is not a question anymore. Definitely to blog. And even your elementary or starter students will value the writing to real people, you know. So real life communication will encourage them to learn the language better. So collaborate. Students, teachers, students and their peers all around the world. You and your colleagues and experts in the field. Project-based learning, that's obvious, give them real-life tasks. Innovate, use technologies, and the last one is the most important one, which actually leads to teacher development. Learn and adapt. And actually, professional development, we can't stop. If we have chosen this job for life, we can't stop in our development. And professional development is based on the triangle, learning, trying, and reflecting. So learn something new, participate in conferences, learn English teaching journals and magazines, participate in webinars, come to International House School Kyiv and other international house schools to learn English, to improve your teaching skills, to learn methodology and to do certificate courses. So then, when you go back to your school, try it out. See whether it works for your environment, whether it works for your classroom. And if you don't try, you will never know how it works. There can be a failure because it's a natural process of learning, but do not stop. Reflect on what went well, what didn't go well, and make a plan for further steps. Oops, not yet. And to finish with, that some of you have forgotten that the time change has happened, especially those of you who are coming from different cities and have trains in place. There is a time change in Ukraine, 1 hour. Tomorrow. Yes, exactly. Tomorrow morning we are 1 hour behind. So we have enough time to sleep, and those of you who are not going to catch the train or plane, you are very welcome to have an excursion around Kyiv, and it's not too late to book it with Taisia, our marketing manager, or reception stand. This is something for you to keep in mind while we are fixing that. Also, something not to forget, that during the coffee break there will be stands for our publishers. We have stands from Macmillan, we have stands from Pearson Education, and we have Oxford University Press represented by TSP Company. So those partners are also waiting for you, as well as our stands with our teachers who would like to consult you on our services. I'm talking about teacher training services, seminars, modular courses. We have courses for each level of English, and we would be happy to consult you on any questions you might have. Are we done? No? That's always happen. Okay, I'll keep talking. In the afternoon, when you have small workshops, don't forget that we finished the day coming back here. After the lottery, there will be a presentation. Tanya T. and Liana Lisica would be introducing our services to all of you. Ready? Yes, almost there. So, we are finishing at 8:30, but be sharp back after lunch at 2 o'clock here.
half an hour for coffee breaks. Coffee breaks is downstairs in the restaurant. We already hear the smell. So before we finish the plenary, you'll be able to recharge your batteries a little bit. 1 more minute, I said. Okay, I'll create something and move on.
Maybe in pairs.
Wonderful. We participate in, this is the second year, International Houses participating as state qualification professional development courses, and we are very inspired by the audience we have every Thursday. We have a group of teachers who are coming to enjoy half of a day with us, where we introduce to the state program International House Approach to Teaching. And it's wonderful to see the teachers who are really impressed that life could be different, by the fact that life could be different. And they immediately become interested, they immediately would like to know more, and we are very happy to have lots of clients. Yes, I was shown this stop sign. Okay, so you'll find out more about that later. I did my best. Okay. It shouldn't be me, somebody else.
Anyway, there was a short clip. It's not very important to summarize what I said. And the final words were enjoy teaching in the 21st century. And now I'm giving the floor to Farag Shubash, our teacher and teacher trainer. He will continue the topic of teaching the 21st century skills and will share his experience in parallel teaching.